Use the right jigsaw blade and you're gonna have an awesome time, but use the wrong blade and you're gonna have a little trouble, and your project will not be as high quality as you're expecting. I'll be testing out all the jigsaw blades, and my favorite jigsaw blade is one you've probably never heard of and takes a different technique to use it correctly. You have the settings all dialed in on your jigsaw. You know how to put in a blade and change a blade, but what blades should you use? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there are several different types of blades, but I'll break it down in a really simple way so you won't be overwhelmed. And you should only have to make one purchase of a multi-pack to get all the blades you need and then some. Here are the different blades, but we can really break these down into just 3 categories. We have blades for cutting wood, blades for cutting metal, and general purpose blades. If you don't know what blade you should use for a material that's not wood or metal, go with the general purpose. The nice thing about these is I bought one set and it came with all of these, so I didn't have to try and figure out which blades to buy. It came with all these. To simplify it even more, if you're cutting wood, really any of these will do, but some of them will give you a cleaner cut than others. We'll start with the wood blades, and this first blade Diablo calls Fast and Clean Wood. It has 6 TPI, so 6 teeth per inch. And this is a great blade if you just want to cut through the wood fast and you don't care about having a really clean finish. And look at where the teeth are pointed. The teeth are pointed up. That's going to be important as we discuss future blades. We then have the fine finish wood. This has more teeth per inch, so I use this one most of the time. It has 10 teeth per inch. So you'll get a better finish because there's more teeth when using this blade. The next blade for cutting wood is the reverse cut wood blade. Now notice the teeth are pointed down on this blade, and on the previous 2, the teeth were pointed up. Now the difference between these two, when you have the teeth pointed up, it's going to give you a better finish on the underside of your workpiece. When you have the teeth pointed down, like in this reverse tooth blade, you'll get a better finish on the top surface of your workpiece. Now this one also has a 10 TPI, so 10 teeth per inch, and this one is great for a clean finish on the top side of your workpiece. Here we have the top and bottom cut, and this is, as it says, for ultra fine finish. This does leave a really clean finish whenever I use it. It has even more teeth per inch, so it has 13 teeth per inch. And on the top of the blade, the teeth are pointed down, so it'll give you a clean cut on the top surface of your workpiece. And then on the bottom part of the blade, the teeth are pointed up, so it also gives you a clean surface on the underside of your workpiece. So this is kind of a best of both worlds kind of blade. The last wood blade is the scroll blade. This one is a thinner blade. It has a lot of teeth per inch, so 20 teeth per inch. And this is great for cutting curves. So if you want to cut curves, this one's a really good blade to use. It'll be able to turn better than the other blades that we just talked about. The blades also come in different lengths. So these ones are about 3 inches, pretty standard. And then this longer one's almost 4 inches, and then it goes down to 2 inches. Just something to consider. If you're cutting through a lot of 3/4 inch material, really any of these blades will work well, even the 2-inch one. If you're cutting through wood that's really thick, maybe 2 inches, you might want to get this 4-inch blade or blades that are a little longer. And just because it's 4 inches doesn't mean it can cut through 4-inch material. It goes up and down. So this is the longest it will be, but you also want to have it go underneath the workpiece. You want to have it cover the thickness of the workpiece when it's all the way up as well. You may be asking, Thomas, do I really need 5 different wood cutting blades to use the jigsaw? The answer is no, you don't. You don't need to buy all 5 and then try them out to see which one works best. You really only need one wood cutting blade if you're not going to be using the jigsaw that much, or if you're thinking, I don't need my cuts to be absolutely perfect, fine finish. You can just get one blade, 3 or 4 inches in length, with the teeth direction pointed in the standard direction up, and you'll be just fine. But then after a while of using that one blade, you may be thinking, I cut a lot of curves and it's not as great going around tight corners or cutting tight curves, so I want to try the scroll blade. And if you primarily only use the jigsaw for breaking down larger pieces of material into rough dimensions, you can use the 6 TPI blade to cut through that material really fast. The blades just get more specific if you're using the tool for a specific task. And I kind of like how there's different options for different tasks. For metal cutting blades, the multi-pack that I got has a blade for thin metal, a blade for medium thickness metal, and a blade for thick metal. And it actually says how thick medium metal is and thin metal and thick metal, so you don't have to guess. But these are great blades to have for cutting metal. You want to use these blades. You do not want to use wood cutting blades if you're cutting metal. If you didn't want to get the multi-pack and you just wanted one metal cutting blade, maybe you don't cut metal very often at all, just get the medium metal. But if you never cut metal, you do not need these blades. Lastly, we have the general purpose blade for general purposes. This is if you cut wood, metal, PVC, plastic. You don't want to have to keep switching blades. This one's a solid one to have. It doesn't have that many teeth per inch, 5 to 10 teeth per inch, depending on where you are in the blade. So it's not going to leave the finest finish, but this is a solid blade to have for cutting multiple material types. I'll provide the link to the multi-pack or one similar that has all the blades you'll need. At the risk of overwhelming you, I do want to give you 2 more options. These are the last 2 blade options, I promise, just so that you're aware of them because they work really well. They're both from Festool, and this is the scroll blade similar to the one you just saw, but this one's a little longer and really well made. I really like this one. It's a little more expensive, but the quality is a little better than the last one. And this one is a more general purpose blade. It's a little thicker than the ones from the multi-pack, and it works really, really well. Get the multi-pack first. They're slightly cheaper and they work well, but if you're unsatisfied with them and want to try these Festool ones, which are a little more expensive, you're welcome to. These work really well. I'm going to test out 3 of the wood cutting blades on this piece of maple just to show you what the cut looks like for each blade. As I got into doing these tests, I decided to actually test out 4 blades instead of 3 because there was a 4th blade I thought really needed to be tested to show what it could do. I edited this footage, so it is actually 2 times the speed at which I actually made the cut. These cuts are pretty slow, especially when you're trying to stick to the line, so I thought it would just take too long if I ran it at normal speed. After I'm done testing these 4 blades and making all these cuts, I'll talk to you about how each blade performed and which blade I think you should use for different applications. You can see here that the jigsaw is jumping a little bit at the start of the cut. That's because I'm using the reverse cut wood blade with the teeth pointed down. When you're using this type of blade, you just need to make sure to hold the jigsaw firmly down on your workpiece. Okay, here are the results. The first one, the fast and clean wood cutting blade, 6 TPI. This is for rougher cuts. You just want to get through the material. You're not worried about how clean the cut is. And it is as advertised. Not a very clean cut on the top, but because the teeth are pointed up, you can see that the bottom of the cut is actually pretty clean, the underside of the piece of wood. So this one's great for hogging through the material, but not a very clean cut on the top. Next, we use the fine finishing wood blade. This is 10 TPI, so more teeth per inch, 4 more teeth per inch. A little cleaner cut on the top, not perfect, but a little bit cleaner. And then because the teeth are pointing up, which is kind of your standard blade, the underside's very clean. The next one is the reverse cut, and you may have noticed that it jumped a little bit. This one you gotta hold real firm, pressing down, otherwise the tool will jump a little bit. So it's a little more dangerous, it takes some more practice, but this is the top of the board, really clean. Very, very clean because the teeth are pointed down. The underside, not nearly as clean. It's a rougher cut, but if you're most concerned about the top of your board being clean, this is perfect. But even when one side is rougher, you can always sand it and it'll be fine. The final one, the late entry, I decided to test out because I thought it was important. We have the top and bottom cut. So in the top, teeth are pointed down. On the bottom of the blade, the teeth are pointed up. This is the top of the board, a very clean cut. This is the underside of the board, also a very clean cut. So this is actually a really nice blade. You gotta put pressure on it because since the teeth are pointed down at the top, it wants to jump as well. But very clean cut. If you can get a hold of this blade, it's a nice one. Don't take too much time stressing over finding the perfect blade. More often than not, when you use the jigsaw, you're gonna be cleaning up the edges with some sandpaper or a router using a roundover or chamfer bit. I'm going to first use the standard blade and then I'll use the scroll blade, but right now this first cut will be the standard wood cutting blade. If you're interested in exactly what blades, bits, and sandpaper to use for the 7 most common woodworking tools, I've created a guide that tells you everything you need to know. You can check out that blades, bits, and grits guide on my website or by clicking the link in the description below. Now, whether you believe me or not, I actually did make it jump like that on purpose because I wanted to show you what would happen if I tried to make tight curves with this standard wood cutting blade. It really jumps on you. You can't make too tight of curves with this type of blade. This is about as tight as you can make. The scroll blade is definitely my preferred blade to use when cutting curves. It's just a smaller, thinner blade. I can get around those tight corners a lot better than your standard blade. It just works really well, and it does take some practice to get the right speed when you are cutting curves with this blade and the jigsaw. You can see the curves are a little tighter with that scroll blade. You still can't get really, really tight curves, but they are much tighter than with the normal blade that we did in the initial cut. And maple, you gotta watch out. My blade was probably spinning a little too fast because I got a little bit of burning here. And maple is notorious for burning, but I probably should have slowed down the blade a little bit. Maybe I have a case of a bit of perfectionism, but I just hated how much burning I had on the last cut. So I'm actually making a second curved cut with the same scroll blade to try and get less burning. And to do that, I'm ensuring that the speed of the blade is slower on this cut. Second time's the charm. That was much better. I got the speed dialed in a lot slower. I got to remember that some woods burn a lot easier than others, and this cut was actually pretty smooth. And again, the scroll blade is a fair amount tighter than just the regular wood cutting blade. If you liked this video, and since you literally watched the whole thing, I think you did, like a lot, I know you're gonna like this next one, where I break down the 10 biggest mistakes when using the table saw and how to avoid them, so you can keep all your fingers. Sorry, that was a little intense. I'll see you over there.